Hallelujah. That's the God of heaven, what I want to do. Abiamabies, Katwabiako. Akatwados, which make Akwados, Baruch, make Aloma Wae. It is a good thing to give thanks unto the Lord and to sing praise to thy name, O Most High, to show forth thy loving kindness in the morning and thy faithfulness every night. Upon the instrument, 10 strings, and upon the psaltery, upon the harp, the silent sound. For thou, Lord, hast made me glad through thy works. I will triumph in the works of thy hands. O Lord, how great are thy works and thy thoughts of every deed. A brutish man knoweth not, neither does a fool understand this. When the wicked springs of grass, when all works of iniquities do flourish, it is that they shall be destroyed forever. But thou, Lord, art most high forevermore. Lo thy enemies, O Lord, for lo thy enemies shall perish. All the workers of iniquity shall be scattered. My horn shall I exalt like the horn of the wild ox. I shall be anointed with fresh oil. My eye also shall see my desire of my enemies, and my ears shall hear the desire of the wicked that rise up against me. The righteous shall flourish like the palm tree. He shall flow like the cedar of Lebanon. Those that be planted in the house of the Lord shall flourish in the courts of our God. They shall still bring forth fruit no age. They shall be fat and flourish. Sure that the Lord is upright. He is my rock. There is no righteousness in him. First of all, I'd like to give all honor and praise to the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob, the great, mighty, revered God, the Most High God, who bestows loving kindness, possesses all things, who remembers the pious deeds of the patriarchs, the Most High, slow of anger, great in kindness, forgiving iniquity and transgressions, but who will by no means clear the guilty, visiting iniquities of fathers upon the children to the third and fourth generation. The Most High's work is perfect for all ways of justice, a God of faithfulness and without iniquity, just and right is he. May be seen. Giving due respect and honor to a head in Israel, my father, Chief Eleazar, to the chief men, princes, brothers and sisters, I say unto the tongue of my forefathers, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, God.
We're going to go into the law, because this is what the people need.
Yeah.
The law. If we don't get these laws, commandments, and statutes down pat, this is what causes confusion.
Mm-hmm.
This is what causes confusion, because us as a people we read the book and we do things contrary from what the book says. We start to add on to what God said. Check. So we're going to go into Exodus 20.
Exodus chapter 20.
Okay, hold on one second. You want to fix that? Hold on one second, people.
So see short comments on those things. I put that to this wall.
Okay. Okay. Not there. He said you got to change the YouTube. Go to YouTube and click. Right. Can you go to the old channel on YouTube there? I have. No, it's I'm ready to fix it right now. Go. Go to right. Go to good. Right, go there now. And go to so I gotta edit. It's an edit. Right, click scroll up.
So you gonna get right, drama?
Man, I have to click a button, but it's not gonna get right. Why don't you get out of the way, man?
Okay.
That's good.
Sit on.
Right.
No, that's right. When
Now go back to stream.
that's right.
Right.
Every time. SHABBAT.
That's live. Right. Okay, let's go to Exodus 20.
Exodus 20.
And God spake all these words, saying,
Yes.
I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Right? Now, we have to show our appreciation to God. Right? We have to show our appreciation for God. And by God delivering us out of the hands of these Egyptians, by the things that God did for us, we have to show our gratitude. And how do we show our gratitude, our appreciation for the Creator? This is why the Creator gave us His laws, commandments, and statutes. We are ordained to keep His laws. We are ordained, okay, to keep God's law because we owe God. We are living on in this present life owing the Creator. So when we owe the Creator, the only way to pay God back is by fulfilling His laws, commandments, and statutes. That's the only way to pay the Creator back. That's the only way. Any other way, you're going to anger Him. Okay? There is no other way to pay God back but by fulfilling His laws, His commandments, and His statutes. So now, He said, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. The nation of Israel served the Egyptians for 430 years. We served the Egyptians. And while we served the Egyptians was doing us dirty. The Egyptians did us dirty. They treated us wrong. They did what they did wrong. They did us dirty. So now, because of that, we owe God. The Creator only gave us a 430-year sentence. 430 years. We was put under a sentence. You see how when we end up going to prison, and the time that is ordained that God wants you to do, whether the judge give you 6 years, 10 years, 12 years, 6 months, whatever amount of time you got to do, that was a sentence from God. A sentence from God. Why? Because of the things that I've done in my past. Things that I've done in my past that was not accepted by God is what caused me to end up in prison. Things that I've done in my past is what caused me to get hit by a bus. Things that I've done in my past is what caused me those negative things that happen in my life. Tom sheet.
Exodus chapter 20,
Verse 3.
verse 3. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee.
Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Now, what does it mean to have other gods before me? To go after. The word other is, the Hebrew word for other is akare or akir. It means to go after or after. After means subsequent to. In order to get these words and learn and understand what God is meaning, the Hebrew, and you transfer it off into the English. Okay? So the word after is subsequent to. It also means to be in agreement with. It also means to follow or to resemble. So these are ways of how we go after other gods. Okay? Now let's go into the first one. To agree. Right? To be in agreement with means to agree. Okay? To agree means what? You accept or to have the same view as. If we have two different lifestyles, what could you possibly do that can cause me to accept it when it doesn't correlate with what God said? It doesn't correlate with the ancient path. So now we have to train ourselves to accept only the things that God accepts. Agree only with things that God agrees with. Because your mindset, what you agree to, whatever you agree to tells me your mindset. It tells me how you think. Because certain things we have no business agreeing with it because God don't agree with it. So if God don't agree with it, you can't agree with it. We have to change our mindset, man. This way of thinking that we have, this heathenistic mentality, you cannot serve God with a heathenistic mentality because it shows in your actions. It shows in your actions, right? It says, means to accept or have the same view as. When you have the same view as something, it means you look at a situation the same way an American look at the situation. Yeah. Okay? This is why it's very important to agree with God. Because you will read a law where God said, thou shalt or thou shalt not, and then you begin to bring up negative opinions. Negative opinions about what God said. Why? Because you haven't trained yourself to agree with what the Creator said. Now, so if I accept you, we have to be careful what we accept. I said, if I accept you, I agree with your actions. If I accept you, I agree with your actions that is against God. I agree. If I accept you, I agree with your feelings. If I accept you, I agree with your purpose that is against God. So guess what? It even goes down to how we feel. Because how I feel is not how God feels. We have to train ourselves to feel what God feels. This is something that goes on internally. This is something that goes on internally, inside. You begin to get stirred. You begin to gain feelings for things that God is against. And when you begin to gain feelings for things that God is against, you make excuses. You make excuses. You make excuses of why you need to be in this place, or why you need to go here, or why you need to go there. When I shouldn't be there. You shouldn't be at Thanksgiving. You shouldn't be at a Christmas gathering. The family is coming down. Well, Johnny, can you come see your family? Well, I won't be seeing my family today. You know why I won't be seeing my family today? Because God comforts. Right. And then Uncle John, I won't be seeing Uncle John today, Mom. Why? Why? Because it's Xmas. And I don't agree and celebrate Xmas. So therefore, I can't see John. John had to come to my house. John wants to see me, come to see me. But I won't be coming over there. You have to put a separation. Okay? To follow after other gods. Right? When you are adhering to the practices, when you are adhering to the beliefs and teachings associated with other people, with other gods. Huh? You hear what I was saying? When you follow after other gods, you are adhering, you adhere to their practices, you agree to their practices, you agree to their beliefs and teachings associated with other gods. You know how deep that is? Well, people think they have to be in the church to serve other gods. This is why it's very important to walk after the manner and the ways and the customs of the ancient, of these men that God has chosen. It's very important. Okay? It also means to resemble. But people think that garments don't mean nothing. It means a lot. Because there was a point in time in history where it was a Gideon when he said, yo, those were my brothers. Okay, I don't know the brother name, right? But some Israelites got rolled on. And another Israelite dude was speaking to the dude that rolled on the Israelites. So he said, yo, man, he said, those guys I rolled on were sons of priests. They was dressed like kings. So the other brother said, man, those was my brothers. He said, if you would have saved them alive, I would have saved your life. So he told his son to kill him, but his son was young. So he ended up falling on him and killing him. You see how important it is? Because we were what? Not really distinct. We were able to be pointed out. We were able to be I would be able to tell who you was. Right. I would be able to only tell who you was according to how you dressed. Okay? We didn't look the same. Okay? We didn't look the same. So changing yourself begins here. Once you put in your mind that you're different, then guess what? When I put in my mind that I'm different, that's what makes me want to look different. That's what makes me want to act different. That's what makes me want to move different. Because I already put in my mind that I'm different. Right. See, everything begins here. I could put on a garment and a robe, but what's going on in your head? Have you agreed and told yourself that you're different? This is why I dress the way I dress. This is why I look the way I look. Come on, man. To be like, right? Another definition that falls under to go after. It also means to be like. Like meaning what? To feel attraction towards or take pleasure in. What attracts you? Certain things that attracts us don't attract God. Certain things that attracts us goes into what you like. Okay? Or take pleasure in. It also means similar. Having common characteristics. Okay? The characteristics meaning what? Mental and ethical traits. Okay? Now, what are ethical traits? Ethical traits are personal characteristics and behavior that aligns with the morals of God, that aligns with the principles and the values of God, guiding individuals to make decisions and act in a way that are considered right and good. Your decisions, disregarding your emotions, because this is what we got to do. Say it again. We have to remember that we are in a different, we're on a different plane, and you're striving for righteousness. And we cannot allow our emotions to get the best of us and control us, because I have to put in my mind, okay, it's time to eject. It's time to eject and let loose. Let it go for the sake of God, for the sake of keeping the day holy, for the sake of not profaning the day.
That's right.
This is why certain judgments was left off until the Shabbat, until after the Shabbat. Certain things are not supposed to be taken care of. Certain feelings, I shouldn't be feeling this way on Shabbat today. I have to let it go and put in my mind, transform. It's God's day. Everything and all the negative emotions that you've been feeling, put it aside and leave it until after Shabbat. Now show God how much you reverence his Shabbat day by doing things in that formal manner. This is what we got to learn, okay? Disregarding your emotions. Ethical traits are attributes that defines the personality of someone. That tells me the personality is how you think. Right? Your ethical traits are attributes that defines the personality of someone who always follow strict moral principles. Okay? Now let's get into mental traits. Are enduring characteristics or attributes that describes an individual's cognitive, emotional, and behavior patterns. Your thinking process. They are internal dispositions that influence how a person perceives, thinks, and feels, and acts in various situations. That's when you align and compare everything to what God says. Every situation. Wait a minute. Oh, this what happened? Let me get the book. Let me see if God consider it a violation. And if God don't consider it a violation, it shouldn't be a violation in your mind. Let me see if God consider it a violation, or he don't. Whatever God considers a violation, or he don't consider a violation. Okay? This is what we have to train ourselves to agree with. We have to. And this is a daily process. This is a practice that must be done daily, every day. Why? Because in that little space of time, you end up venturing off and sliding off into this hedonistic mentality. Okay? That quick. Okay? What verse we at?
Exodus chapter 20, verse 4.
Verse 4, read.
Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image.
Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image. The Hebrew word for graven image is a fesel. Fesel means an idol or an image. Okay? Now, what is a graven image? A graven image also refers to the concept of a cult image, right? Which is paganism. A human-made object, often a statue or figurines, that is venerated or worshipped and subjected to ritual. So now, this is why we didn't have statues. Because back in ancient times, the statues was worshipped. So this is why God said, don't have statues. Don't have little figurines, because these was the customs of the nations. When they had idols and deities, they would have statues and figurines. So God said, don't have it. Don't have it to yourself. So people say, well, I can have it as long as I don't worship it. God said, don't have it. Because this was the custom of the nation. They worship statues and figurines. So to stay on the clean side, I stayed away from it. It said that is venerated or worshipped and subjected to ritual. It's an image or likeness of any living thing that God has created and has been carved or sculpted. Idols. An idol is a false god. An idol also is the likeness of something, form or appearance, visible without substance. Visible without substance means without life. Okay? Top sheet.
Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image,
Tom, see?
or any likeness of
Now,
anything.
hold up. All Hebrew scholars know what the likeness. A likeness means a replica. A likeness means to resemble. Basically, you don't need the Hebrew to tell you what this is. But if you want to go deeper, let's go into the Hebrew. So the Hebrew word for likeness is temunah. Temunah means what? Pictures. But people argue with this because they don't want to get rid of their pictures. They don't want to get rid of their pictures. Because pictures, you happen to gain an emotional attachment to these things.
That's what it is.
You get emotionally attached to pictures. And then you feel, he said, look up the definition of immoderate attachment. Immoderate attachment. Huh? You're so attached to this thing here that you can't get rid of it for God. Again, we don't have Moses here to explain this. So we have to go all the way with these laws, commandments, and statutes, because no one here is inspired by God enough to explain these laws to us. Likeness means a resemblance, outward appearance of. Tamshi.
Or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above.
No likeness, no picture that is in anything that's in heaven above.
Or that is in the earth beneath.
Or that is in the earth beneath.
Or that is in the water under the earth.
Or that is in the water under the earth. Tamshi.
Thou shalt not bow down
Thou
thyself.
shalt not bow down thyself to them. Lord, teach that. Lord, teach that. Right? It means to prostrate. It means to worship. And when I looked up the definition of worship, you know what it says? Worship is an extreme form of love for God. It's a type of unquestioning devotion to God that you question what you read. Huh? That's the heights of worship. So are we truly worshiping God? No. Because a lot of us that call ourselves worshiping God question and doubt the book. We question and we doubt what we read here because we don't believe.
Right.
We don't believe. If we truly believe, we won't doubt nothing that we read in that book. And if we feel a little doubt, guess what? The book ain't wrong. That sounds like a you problem. You gotta fix that within yourself. I said there are things that we have to fix within ourselves. Go ahead, read.
Thou shalt not bow down thyself to no more serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children.
Okay, visiting, no serve them, right? To serve. It means to comply to the commands of, all right? Or to comply to the commands and demands of. So once you are complying to the commandments of God, you're a servant of God. You're a servant of God. You can look at God and say, I serve God. Why? Because you know what you do.
That's right.
I say you know what you do. You are fulfilling the things that God has required. God's requirements. That's what makes you a servant. Fulfilling the requirements of God. Ain't nobody know if I'm a servant of God until myself, because ain't nobody around me all the time.
That's right.
You know what you do when you are not my eyesight. And I know what I do when I'm not in your eyesight. But we got to be truthful with ourselves.
That's right, brother.
That's the key. Don't come telling me you're a servant of God, but when you not around, you live anyhow. You live anyhow. We have a lot of Israelites that's only Israelites on Shabbat. We have Israelites that is only Israelites on Shabbat.
House down.
But when the Shabbat is over, they turn into heathens. They turn like unto the nations. Right? You show who you are by how you dress, man. You show who you are by according to how you dress.
Yeah.
So therefore, we got to look the part
Talk about it.
in order to be the part.
Say the whole.
You have to look the part in order to be the part. Let's read.
For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God.
For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God. You hear what God said? God said, I'm jealous. God said, I'm jealous. We had drove God to jealousy. You know how that feels? When you're with a woman for 10, 15, 20 years, and I go to work, you go to work and you break your back to do and please. That's what we do. We go out of our way to please our woman. And then, in order for her to show her appreciation, she has to reciprocate. I'm not the only one supposed to be shooting out. You got to get back too. Like I said, we was talking this morning, I said, I don't want to be the only one acknowledging your existence. Come on, baby. Both with toes. Huh? How are you? So now, sometimes I back up. I want to hear if I get a book with toes. I want to hear a good morning, husband, Chief Shama. I want to hear something like that. And when I don't hear it, I feel like I'm the only one pushing out. Right. I'm like, damn. Basically, I get that an example to show that we have to learn to reciprocate, to take the initiative to dish out. And how do we reciprocate with God? Huh? How do we reciprocate and show God that we appreciate God? By fulfilling His laws, man. We have a duty. We have a duty in life to fulfill these laws, commandments, and statutes, man. We have a duty in life, man. We got to do this. Now, see, jealous now means what? Intolerant of unfaithfulness. What does intolerant mean? He said God is intolerant of unfaithfulness. Now, it means not tolerant, right? Not tolerant of ways. He won't tolerate. He said he won't tolerate your ways, which means your ways must be compared to the book. That's why it's important to read and follow after the ways and the customs of our forefathers. That's right. Okay? Not tolerant of your thought pattern. How we think. Huh? Because forward thoughts separate from God. So when these idolatrous thoughts comes to your mind that is contrary, opposite from God, rule yourself. Rule your spirit. Train yourself. And he can get rid of those thoughts, right? That difference from God. The Most High demands from those whom he loved and redeemed out of Egypt utter an absolute loyalty, because I delivered you and took you out of the land of Egypt. I took you out from serving the Egyptians after so many years. The least you can do is serve me. The least you can do is acknowledge me. The least you can do is comply to my commands. That's all God is asking for. Comply to his commands. That's how you show your appreciation for the things that God has done for you. That's how you show your appreciation. Okay? Sometimes I look and I see what God did for others, and it boosts me to push up and do things that is lawful and right, because it fortifies. It fortifies and it strengthens me, and it fortifies my belief. It shows me that there is a God in Israel. It shows me that there is a God in Israel, man. Okay? The king of Egypt, other as loyalty, and will vindicate his claim by stern actions against them if they betray God by going against his laws. It shows unfaithfulness when we go against God. Unfaithfulness. So, if we show unfaithfulness to God by going against his command, the children are unfaithful to the parents when we disrespect our parents. When we go against their commands, we show unfaithfulness. When the wife goes against the husband's rulership and what he says, It shows unfaithfulness in the wife. See, the book shows you the meaning of words. The book shows you what the meaning of words, man. Let's read it.
Visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children.
Visiting the iniquity of the fathers. Paquada. It means to visit. It means to remember. It means to command. We're our own. Remembering the iniquities. Commanding the iniquities. See, God has commanded the sins of King David to rest upon his whole house, which caused his sons. That's what caused Amnon to do what he did. That's what caused Absalom to do what he did. That's what caused Adonijah to do what he did. Because God visited what King David did upon his sons. On the norm, they would have never done that.
No, they wouldn't.
They wasn't in their right mind. God did. Which means us as parents, our doings will show in our children. I said our doings is the results of how your children act and move with God. So when your children move away and start doing things on their own accord, look at yourself. Don't blame them. Look at yourself. Is it God visiting my sins upon my kids? What got my kids moving the way they moving? What got my son moving the way he moving? Why my daughter acting the way she acting? Sometimes he visited upon one and it skips some. I say it don't visit on all. God put it on the ones. All David's kids wasn't moving like that. He only visited on 3. We don't know why God do what he does. God knows why. And I'm not going to question.
Upon the children unto the 3rd and 4th generation of them that hate me. Verse
Upon
6.
the visited iniquities, I'll read that over.
Upon the children
Upon
unto
the
the
children. Ooh, wait a minute. Unto the 3rd,
and
4th
generation
of them that hate me. In the Hebrew, it don't say hate me. It says so nigh of my enemies. So look in the mirror and tell yourself, are you an enemy of God? Ask yourself that. Are you an enemy of God? You know why I say that? Because when we go against an established rule, when we go against the rules and the regulations and the standards and the curriculum that God set, you make yourself an enemy with God. Okay, let's read it.
Verse 6. And showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me.
And showing mercy unto thousands of them that what?
That love me.
The mercy of God is when he chooses not to punish an individual for their sins or wrongdoing, despite being deserving for it. You deserve it. We deserve it. But God has held his hand back because of his mercy. You don't think you owe God? You don't think you owe God? You don't think you should be walking and living your life with a guilty conscience for the rest of your life? We should never be proud. We should never have a proud heart. Never. Because we have done things that bring death. That brings death. We have done things that we should have died for. But God didn't kill you. And he allows you to remain alive to rectify the situation. Get back in good graces with God. But we need humility. We got to humble ourselves. And while we are humbling ourselves, we are acknowledging our faults.
That's right.
A person with humility will acknowledge their faults.
That's right, brother.
A person with humility will take heed to themselves. A person with humility will look at themselves. He said, a wise man's eyes are in his head. You know what that means? A wise man's eyes are in his head. He said a wise man's eyes is in his head, meaning he's watching himself, constantly in himself, watching himself. Detector. He's detected. He has become a detector. He's watching everything, his thoughts. He's watching his words. He's watching his actions and careful with caution so that he don't violate God. Huh? So that he don't violate God. You're being circumspect. Okay? Tom sheet.
And showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me.
And showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me.
And keep my commandments.
And keep my commandments. What does love mean? What does love mean? So let's get into this word love. Love means what? Affection based on benevolence. Affection based on common interests. Don't tell me you love me and we ain't got nothing in common. Don't tell me you love me and we ain't got nothing in common. You ain't feeling what I'm feeling, and I ain't feeling what you feeling. So where's the love? Where's the love? That's lost. Because that's what God said love is. Let's get into these words. Benevolence means what? Disposition to do good. Disposition to do good means I got good in me. I got good in me, which caused, because I had good in me, because we have good in us, each and every one of us, people. Don't downtrodden. Don't down yourself, family online. Don't down yourself, family here. Okay? We all have good in us. We all have good in us. That's why we're here. Now, it's according to what you do with it. What do you feed yourself to strengthen that good in you? Okay? Because you can also feed yourself things to weaken the good in you and increase the wickedness in us. Okay? All according to what you give your own spirit. Okay? All right? So again, disposition to do good is when a person is prone to act in a way that is morally right, morally kind, and beneficial to others. Always talking about others. This is what the laws is. These laws, commandments, and statutes teaches us how to deal with each other, how to act with each other, what and what not to say to each other. Come on, man. Let's do this, man. Let's stop playing with God and let's do this. Let's do this. Don't only talk this. Read this once a week. We have to be in these laws, commandments, and statutes 24/7 in order for it to be a part of us. That's why the book said practice, right? Because anything you practice becomes what? Perfect. Well, what's the word on the habitual? It becomes a habit. There you go, son. It becomes a habit. It becomes habitual. It becomes constant. Something habitual is I'm doing it without thinking. Come on now. Let's do this. This position is the positive or negative way a person views what happens in the world. Your character is determined by your inner moral value, and your personality reflects who you are as a person. Your inner moral values goes according to your beliefs that you use to analyze opinions, situations, and your thoughts. Then decide what is the right or appropriate way. So we use our values to make our decisions. We use our values to analyze our opinions. We use our values to analyze situations and thought patterns. And our values is set up by God. That's what your values are. Your values is set up by God. Okay? godly values. Tom sheet.
Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain.
Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. Oh my gosh. You see why it's important to look up words? I looked up the definition of vain. It says shower, tree, or olive. It means nothingness. It means, and then another definition means what? Holds no value. So when I did my research on that word, anything that holds no value, you know what it says? Things that you hold no value to, it means what? When it's habitual or customary usage. You see why I tell you people stop using God's names in every situation and mentioning God's name over and over and over. In Genesis, God said, I didn't make myself known to Abraham. God, Yod, He, he said, I didn't know that name. He said, I presented myself to them as God Almighty. El Shaddai means God Almighty. He said, but that name, Yod, He, he said, was I not known to them? So now, when we use God's name constantly over and over, it means to habitually or customary usage. You're using it too much. You're using it. That name is holy. It's not supposed to be a part of your conversation. Anything that's holy is for a particular purpose. Okay? The high priest didn't go into the Holy of Holies once a year. Once a year. Huh? He didn't go in there when he felt like it. Go ahead, let's read it.
Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him
guiltless. The Lord will not hold him guiltless. You notice the word for guiltless? It's not hard. He said, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless. For the Lord will not be pure. It also means pure or innocent. You will not be innocent. You will not be without guilt. The Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. So you won't be innocent. You won't be pure. As long as I continue to use God's name in vain. You understand that? You understand this, man? This is very important. This is simple. It's simple. When you read the law, we complicate it. It's straight and direct and to the point. Our questions have to be correlated in the line with what this says. Don't ask me no question off the ball question that takes me off. You read what it says. So can I use God's name by praying? It says don't use it habitually or customary usage. You know what I use God's name? And I'm in deep trouble. Deep trouble. My father says, hey, don't use that name at any time. And every time when my father was in trouble and he used God's name, he got out of that trouble. Because that's a special name. That's a holy name. He used the name again. He was in the courtroom. And he said God's name 3 times. The 3rd time, he heard a voice in his right ear. He was sitting in court. Guess who was next to him? My mother. He said, a still small voice. A voice came in his ear. He said, when the judge take his eyes off you, get up and leave. He got up, looked around, turned around. Ain't nobody on the side. My Ima sitting right next to him. But my Ima ain't heard the voice. Then all of a sudden, the judge started batting his eyes, his head dropped. Everybody in the courtroom was asleep. These are things that I talk about to boost myself and give me belief, to strengthen myself in God, to motivate myself in God. My mother and my father walked out the courtroom. The judge didn't say nothing. The bailiff at the door. Everybody sitting in the courtroom. Everybody sleep. So when my father left, I told my mother to go back in the courtroom. She said, when she went back in the courtroom, everybody's still in that dormant state. They woke up out of the court, out of that dormant state when she sat down. I ain't hear about no Tracy on the cross doing that. I ain't hear about none of that. We serve the true and living God. And God will show himself for you if you show yourself to be worthy of. Okay? We have to be worthy of God in order for God to come out for you like that, man. How do you make yourself worthy? Huh? Stop choosing things and putting things above the laws and the commandments of God. Put God first in all situations. That's right. I said, put God first in all situations. That's right, Tom C.
Remember the Shabbat day to keep it holy.
Remember the Shabbat day to keep it holy. Huh? Remember the Shabbat day. Keep it holy. Now, how do I know? If I don't know how to keep it holy, how am I? You gotta know how to keep the day holy. Mm-hmm. And when we read certain passages in the book, we went over this last week of how to keep the day holy. Speaking your own words, doing work, preparing, arranging, cleaning, mopping, arranging. Now, there was a question last week about fire. God is not talking about electrical fire because we didn't have electricity back then. God is talking about actual fires. Actual fires. So if I unplug I could plug things in on Shabbat. I can cut my lights on and off. Okay? But don't mess with that stove. Don't mess with that stove. That's right. Don't mess with that stove. Tom sheet.
6 days Shabbat labor.
6 days Shabbat labor.
And do all thy work.
And do all thy work.
But the 7th day is the Shabbat of the Lord thy God.
But the 7th day is the Shabbat of the Lord thy God. In it.
Thou shalt not do any work.
Thou shalt not do any work.
Thou. Nor thy son.
Thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter,
nor
thy manservant,
nor thy maidservant,
nor thy maidservant,
nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gate.
Notice it didn't mention the wife. Why didn't mention the wife? Because the wife is going to have babies. And if the baby stool and defecate on him or herself, the wife got to clean that baby. Huh? So the word for cleaning the child is exempt. That's the mother. Okay? That's the mother. She got to do that work. That's why back in the days, 70s, 80s, my father used to say, hey, leave the woman alone with the babies. You, sir, you get over here. Leave the woman alone. Let her take to the kids. Mama love right there. Let the mother deal with the kids. You get out of there. Let's read. So now, hold up. So I can't have a house and have visitors and they do according to their own will and do what they want. The visitors that come to my house on Shabbat, they got to live according to the curriculum. That's right. They got to live according to these standards. Right. If you feel you can't live according to these standards, then guess what? You got to go. You know why? Because it's God over everything. You got to choose God over everything. God is first. Those are your priorities. Your priority in life first is God. And when people don't accept that, you have to make them accept it. You have to make you accept it. Hey, listen here, man. This is how I live. This is how I live. Okay? And they can't deny that. This is how I live. You know what days I can't come to work. This is what gotta happen. No, I can't do this. No, I can't do that. This is how I live. You gotta make people accept these things, man. Time to see.
For 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea.
For 6 days the Lord made the heavens and the earth, the sea, and all that in the midst.
The rest of the 7th day.
Rested on the 7th day.
Therefore the Lord blessed the Shabbat day and hallowed it.
And hallowed it.
Honor thy father and thy mother.
Honor thy father and thy mother. Honoring your parents is showing them respect. Honoring your parents is showing them obedience. Being appreciative. And if you're appreciative of your parents, you won't have nothing negative to say about them. That shows that you're not appreciative. You don't show appreciation. Okay? There's nothing that my parents could do that can have me talk down on them, because I have to show, when the appreciation starts? The appreciation starts when I didn't even know I was born, when I didn't even know myself. That they took time out when I was a baby to clean me and feed me. Clean me, feed me, and clothe me until I got into the age I was with them today. That's why God said, the Egyptians shall be accepted in their third generation. He said, because you lived in their land. Which means a person that's appreciative doesn't dwell on negative. You can't be appreciative dwelling on things that's negative. I have to learn to let go of negative. Remember the good that a person did for me. Okay? The good that a person do for you never dies. This is why Saul told the Kenites and told the Kenites to leave. He said, because I remember how you did with the nation. So if we want to be godly, yes, if a person do you dirty, I have to separate. Yeah. I have to separate, but I'm not going to do him dirty. Because we or us, we should remember the good that the person did to us. Always remember the good that a person do for you. If the person did you dirty, then of course you have to separate, because I don't want to get done dirty again. Now, I'm not going to return the evil for the evil that you did to me. I will never return the evil back. But I will always remember the good that you did to me. I will always remember the good that you did to my brothers. I will always remember the good that you did to my parents. Certain brothers can't do no wrong in my eyes. And I remember the things that certain brothers did for my father. Certain brothers did it for my mother. And if you violate me, I will not violate you. I will hold my composure and just separate. Because me, I don't have that mentality. I got to keep that mentality. That's what Solomon did to Abiathar. He remembered the good that Abiathar did to his father. He said he ran with his father. Later on, years later, he switched sides. He started going with Adonijah. He didn't put him to death. Solomon put him to death. He said, nah, you violated. He said, but I'm not going to kill you. He said, because you ran with my father. Which means that stands. That stands, man. You ran with my time sheet.
That thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth. Thou shalt not murder.
Thou shalt not murder. Read.
Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house.
Go back. Where we was at?
Thou shalt not murder.
Thou shalt not murder. You can't take a life that's not justifiable by the laws of God. If the man did not violate a law that requires you to kill him, then you can't kill him. You can't do none of that. You gotta get out your emotions. Okay?
Thou shalt not commit adultery.
Committing adultery. Lotin af. Lotin af means adultery. Lotin af also means to fornicate. Which means, we cannot be having sex or cohabitating. I'm gonna stop using that word. You cannot be cohabitating with a woman, and that's not your wife. If she's not your wife, then you shouldn't be cohabitating with her. Before I cohabitate with this woman, I have to marry her. And if I didn't marry her, then you shouldn't be doing these certain things with this woman. Adultery. We have to train ourselves to agree with what God says. Adultery for a man is when he cohabitate with a married woman. So in order for a man to commit adultery, the woman has to be married. Okay? Adultery for a woman is different. She cohabitate with any man besides her husband. You cohabitating with this dude, and this dude is not your husband, that's adultery. Okay? Now, we have to train ourselves to agree with God. Because as long as we continue to disagree with God, that's a blotch. That's a breach in your spirit, which only is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, which is going to cause you to depart. You're going to push yourself away. You're going to pull yourself away because you don't agree. Tom, see?
Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness
Thou
against thy
shalt not
neighbor.
commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. No, take no. Steal, rob, or deceive. Tom, see?
Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor.
No tane ben aka el shakwe. No tane. Ana. It means to answer. You should not answer or respond or testify as a false witness. I don't know what took place. I wasn't there when it happened. So why you have so much to say? Why? You wasn't there. You need to keep quiet. Tom, see?
Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt
Okay. Coveting comes from a feeling of not being satisfied. I said when we covet, it comes from a feeling of not being satisfied with one already possessed. It leads to other negative emotions like envy, jealousy, and death. Okay? Tom, see?
Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his maidservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's.
Okay, cut that. All right, people. So today, we're going to go into question and answer. And the topic is laws of uncleanness. How do we become unclean? Okay. What can we do to get that clean? What are the things? Okay, those are the that's the question and answer. So, and with that, we're gonna answer. That's the question.
It's Muna.
And Muna got a question.
Right. So what is happening is how our foreparents moved around with no light on Shabbat Eve. What did they use? Or did they just rest after Sunday?
They had lamps. They had oil lamps where they could oil and set lamps up where it stayed light, where they kept the light on. Right?
What is the appropriate way to reheat food on Shabbat?
What is the appropriate way to reheat food on Shabbat? Okay, so what my imam does, the fire, you can leave the stove on Friday before sun go down. You leave the stove on, okay? Leave the stove on, and whatever food I need to warm up, I can wrap it in foil and set it on top of the stove. Not on the fire, but next to the fire, right there, and then it'll warm up. That's not violated because the fire is on. I didn't cut the fire on Shabbat. I left my stove on before the Shabbat came in. So whenever I'm ready, I need to warm something, I can wrap it in foil and put it right there and it'll come up. Because the food is already cooked. You just need to get it on. It's prepared already. Okay, we got any more questions?
Okay, the electricity, yep.
What, electricity?
It's saying that fire and electricity is the same, right? But I want to explain that the operation of plugging in something and plugging out, you don't ignite nothing. You don't ignite electricity, you don't ignite fire. It's already, the electricity is already running through the building, it's already running. All you're doing is if you could put your finger, if you could,
Stick it in it, you get zapped.
it would come through, right? So
zapped.
these wires can conduct.
It's already flowing.
It's already flown. All you're doing is making the contact. So you're not igniting anything when you turn the lights. You're not igniting anything when you plug it in your houses. without igniting anything when you turn over on your phone. But you can't cook.
No.
And you can't use microwaves.
No,
toaster
you can't use
ovens,
those toaster
or the
ovens. You can't
toaster.
use microwaves, air fryer,
air fryer,
none of that stuff.
And
that stuff alone. No.
I want to say one more thing.
Go ahead.
The reason why it's such a problem with the food and the different food and eating the food is because they didn't, our forefathers, they didn't eat the foods we eat today.
Exactly.
Okay? Most of the time they had bread prepared the day before.
Right.
So on Shabbat, you eat bread, fruits, vegetables. Because that's what they ate. Or they had their goats or their lambs, the meat was prepared the day before.
Right.
You know, the dishes we eat today, spoiled, you got refrigerated, you gotta cook it, you gotta do. They didn't have to go through that. So you gotta be careful with the Shabbat, dealing with that fire and eating. Be very careful.
Any questions about being unclean? Any questions about a man in this issue that causes uncleanness? A woman when she's on her menstruation that causes uncleanness. Uncleanness from a dead body. Uncleanness is when you pick up a creeping thing or anything with Paul. How to become clean after it? What do you have to do? Sometimes some uncleannesses you have to wash. Some uncleanness you don't have to wash. You just got to wash your clothes. So do we have any questions concerning those things? Even also cohabitation. When you're cohabitating with your husband, right? Or when a man is cohabitating with his wife, you become unclean. Through what? Through semen. The seed of life. So the seed of life comes out, whatever it touches has to be washed. Okay? You have to wash before sunset. Your wife has to wash before sunset, and you will be clean at the evening when sunset. Okay? What's the question?
From Caroon's L.
Okay.
How to become clean after eating pork?
After eating pork.
Don't eat no more.
Okay, don't eat it no more.
First,
Stop eating. First, you got to do is stop eating pork. That's stop eating pork. Once you stop eating it, you can become clean. Nowhere in the uncleanness law states that that when you eat it, you are unclean for 7 days, or you have to wash. Just stop eating. Stop eating.
You can't on purpose eat it.
Right. Right. Because swine, God gave 3 characteristics of cattle. The cattle has to have cloven foot, part the hoof, and chew the cud. Cloven foot is when the hoof has a split like a deer foot. Chewing the cud means they have more than one stomach. They chew, they food, they swallow it, goes in one stomach, bring it back up, chew it, bring it back up, chew it again, and it goes in another stomach. Chew the cud. Look at 3 characteristics. If the cattle don't have those 3 characteristics, you can't eat it, which is the swine.
Right.
It chews it's cloven foot and it part the hoof, but it chews not the cud. It's unclean to you. Tom Sheep, you got no questions in there? Okay, so now we have to be careful what we touch now. When you have when a man see the compilation has left a man, right? In Leviticus 22, it states, well, people say, oh, that was the law for the priests. God said we're gonna be a nation of priests. Okay? And when that seed of compilation come out from a man, if I touch this man, he becomes unclean. He has to wash before sunset. When a woman is on her nidata, on her menstruation, whatever she sits on and lie on becomes unclean. If a woman sit in the chair on her menstruation, she's unclean, she makes the chair unclean. If I sit in the chair, I don't become unclean. According to the law, Leviticus 15. But if a woman made the bed unclean, if I lay down in that bed, then I'll become unclean. Okay. Issue. A man in this issue. The issue for a man in the Hebrew it says Zab. Any more questions? Right? A Zab is an issue. Anything that causes a leak or a drip, like gonorrhea, syphilis, chlamydia, venereal disease. Right? And if a man starts leaking from his private part, he is unclean. Okay? Whatever he sits on and lie on becomes unclean. Okay? And which means the clothes that he sits on is unclean. Right? The clothes that he sits on or whatever he lie on becomes unclean. So now you have to put a separation. Okay? Because those clothes is unclean. If I'm doing the cleanliness law, I can't touch those clothes because now I become unclean. Okay? The counting of your menstruation. It's a 7-day cycle. Okay? You're unclean for if you bleed for 5 days, you got 2 days left. You could bleed for 5 days and then stop. That don't mean your menstruation is over because it's a 7-day cycle. So you bleed for 5 days, you got to count 2 more days. You bleed for 4 days, you got to count 3 more days. You bleed for 1 day, you got to count 6 more days. If I go over the 7 days, right? If I bleed 4 days, stop, and then bleed again the 6th day, I have to stop counting. Stop counting and wait till you stop bleeding. When you stop bleeding, then you count 7 days over. The 7 days you count over again. Okay. There are uncleannesses where we pick up certain insects, right? Insects with more than. Let's go into that. Okay. What is that with the
insects?
Yeah. Huh? Right. Leviticus 11. Leviticus chapter 11, verse. Okay. You read it in the comments. Okay. Leviticus 11, verse 27. It said, whatsoever goeth upon his paws, a cat or a dog, right? Among all manner of beasts that go on all fours, those are unclean to you. Who toucheth their comfort shall be unclean. So the animal, anything with paws die. What's the question?
Is there anything else besides menstruation that can make a woman unclean?
Yes, when she cohabitates with her husband, to see the copulation. That's it. Automatic. You get unclean. So once you cohabitate with your husband and to see the copulation, you come in contact with to see the copulation, you are unclean. You have to wash just like him. Whatever head to toe and whatever the see the copulation touches has to be washed. This is why our beds we have to be careful because you can't wash the mattress. It's going to be waterlogged. So it's best when you buy a mattress, you keep the plastic on it. Keep the plastic on it so that the bed don't come in contact with the copulation. And then the mattress become unclean. Pregnancy. After you have a baby, right? When you have a son, you are unclean for 40 days. No, it's in the according to scripture, it says you are unclean for 7 days, and you shall continue in your purification 33 days. Yeah. So that means you are unclean. You go through your menstruation for 7 days. And the 33 days you just purify with oils, smell goods, and just purifying yourself. With a daughter, if you have a girl, you are unclean for 2 weeks and you continue in your purification for 66 days. Okay, which makes it 80 days total amount of 80 days, which you will be unclean. You'll be set apart, you'll be separated, you will not be in holy convocation or none of that during the 40 days that you had a son or during the 80 days that you had a daughter. Okay? Any more questions concerning uncleannesses? Okay, so let me read something for you. I want to read uncleannesses as far as, okay. Comes of the beast, whatsoever go upon paws, among all manner of beasts that go on all fours, those are unclean unto you. Whoso toucheth the carcass shall be unclean unto evening. So, let's say a dead cat. Once I touch the carcass of a dead, or anything that's with a paw that goes upon all paws, on all fours, I'm unclean. I'm unclean unto the evening. I don't have to wash my flesh. I don't have to wash my clothes. I'm just unclean unto the evening. And now it's something different now. And he that beareth the carcass of them shall wash his clothes and be unclean to the evening. So now I have to pick the dead cat up. Once I pick him up and I bear the carcass, now I just got to wash my clothes. I don't have to wash my flesh. Okay? Huh? What's the question?
And when y'all Israel, what about twins of boys or girls?
I would do the length. I would do the 80 days for the girl. Can't do the 40 days. Same thing. I won't do the 40 days because you got a boy and a girl. So I would go the whole 80 days as far as the girl. Regular 80 days. 2 weeks you're unclean, your administration, 66 days you continue in your purification. Any more questions? And we also have the StreamYard thing there where you can click and come on the screen and ask a question. Go ahead.
You said someone would sit on the back of a chair, just can't touch it.
Okay, so when you read Leviticus 15, if a woman on her menstruation, right, she sits on the chair, right? We're gonna go there. Let's go there quick fast. I want to Leviticus chapter 15, verse 21. Let's go there. Okay. I'm gonna read. Let me see. Okay. And everything that lies upon separation. Let's start from verse 19. Leviticus 15, 19. And if a woman, go ahead, read.
If a woman have an issue,
if a woman have an issue,
her issue in her fleshly blood, she shall be put apart.
7 days.
And whoever touches her shall be unclean until the evening.
If a woman have an issue and I touch her, I'm just unclean until the evening. I don't have to wash my flesh and I don't have to wash my clothes. I'm just unclean until the evening. Even when sunset comes, I'm clean. Right?
And everything that she lied upon in her separation,
while she's unclean, is unclean.
Everything also
that she sitteth upon
shall be unclean.
Whosoever
toucheth her bed.
Now the bed that she lie on is unclean. Right. If I touch her bed,
shall wash his clothes.
I have to wash my clothes.
Bathe himself in water.
And I have to bathe myself in water.
You're unclean until the evening.
Now I have to do those things before the evening. Because if I don't, then I'm gonna bear my iniquities. I'm gonna bear sin.
There's a time.
Okay, there's a time limit where I have to do this. Go ahead.
And whosoever toucheth anything that she sat upon,
whosoever toucheth anything that she sat upon,
shall wash his clothes. Bathe himself in water. And be unclean.
Okay, so the chair that she sat on, it only says if I touch it, I have to wash my clothes, and bathe myself in water and be unclean until the evening. But if I sit in the chair that she sat in, I don't be unclean. I'm not unclean because the book never stated that. So we have to keep it the way it is. I don't know why. God ain't said why, huh? Right, nothing happens if I sit in that chair that the woman sat. You sit on that.
And if it be on her bed.
If her menstruation be on her bed.
Or on anything whereon she's sitting. Touch it, you shall be clean.
Touch it, you shall be unclean in the evening. So let's say I come in contact with the menstruation, right? With the menstruation, with the blood. You say, I'm just unclean until the evening. I go wash my hands, wash the stuff off, and I'm clean until the evening. I don't have to wash my clothes, and I don't have to bathe my flesh. See?
And if any man lie with her at all, and her flowers be upon her,
Now, if I happen to cohabitate with this woman, and her flowers get upon me, read.
he shall be unclean 7 days.
Now I'm unclean 7 days like her, read.
All the bed whereon he
Everything
lieth shall
that
be
I sit
unclean.
on, and all the bed whereon he lieth, right, shall be unclean, read.
And the woman,
Not what I sit on, just what I lie on. So when I come in contact with the woman's flowers, whatever I lie on is unclean. But if I sit, I don't make the chair unclean. See?
and if a woman have an issue of her blood many
And
days,
if a woman have an issue in her blood many days, which means she bled past the 7-day cycle,
out of the time of her separation, or if it run beyond the time of her separation,
right,
all the days of the issue of her uncleanness shall be as the days of her separation. She shall be unclean. Every bed whereon she lieth, all the days of her issue shall be unto her as the bed of her separation. And whatsoever
So you see that? Every bed whereon she lieth, all the days of her issue shall be unto her. Which means what? The bed don't become clean. Once you lie on, or once you lie on or sit, it's unclean. There's no way how you can get that chair or that bed clean again. This is why when a woman is on her menstruation, she don't sit all over the place, lie all over the place, because she's gonna make things unclean. A man that has an issue, you don't sit all over the place and lie all over the place, because you're gonna make it unclean. And there's no way to get it clean. Men have uncleannesses, the woman have uncleannesses. Okay? Tom, see?
and whatsoever she sitteth upon shall be unclean as the uncleanness of the separation.
You have
Verse
any more
27.
questions in there? Okay. Anybody have any more questions? Let's go into Leviticus 22. Some more uncleannesses. Let's go into that. Right? Leviticus chapter 22.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto Aaron and to his sons, that they separate themselves from the holy things of the children of Israel, and that they profane not my holy name, those things which they hallow unto me, in the Lord. Say unto them, whosoever he be of all your seed among your generations, that goeth unto the holy things which the children of Israel hallow unto the Lord, having his uncleanness upon them, that soul shall be cut off from my presence. I am the Lord. What man soever of the seed of Aaron
Is a leper.
will have a running issue.
Or had a running issue. Running issue is a zot, right? Venereal disease, right? He shall not eat the holy things until he is clean. And whoso toucheth anything that is unclean by the dead. Okay? Whoso toucheth anything that is unclean by the dead. So how do I become unclean by the dead? A person dies, I go and come in contact with their skin. If I touch that dead body, I become unclean. Now, whatever that person that's unclean by that dead body, if I touch this is unclean. Anything that I touch, everything that I touch becomes unclean. Okay? It said that whosoever toucheth anything that is unclean by the dead. You hear that? It's different uncleannesses. So now, if I'm doing the cleanliness law, now I have to watch and be careful of what I touch. He said, whosoever toucheth anything that is unclean by the dead, or a man whose seed goeth from him, which means a man to see the compilation left from man, and I come in contact with that person, or whosoever toucheth any creeping thing, whereby he be made unclean, or a man of whom he may take uncleanness. Whatsoever uncleanness he hath, Whatsoever uncleanness he had, the soul which had touched any such shall be unclean unto the even. He shall not eat of the holy thing unless he wash his flesh with water. And when the sun is down, he shall be clean, and shall afterwards eat of the holy thing, because it is his food. Right? That which died of itself, or is torn with peace, he shall not eat to defile himself therewith. So when we eat meat that died of itself, when we eat meat that was torn by beasts, which means we gotta stop buying our meat from the stores. We gotta stop buying meat from the store, because anytime we eat meat that died of itself or was torn by beasts, we become defiled before God. Now, when we buy our meat from the stores, you don't know how that animal died. You don't know if it was torn by beasts. You don't know if it died of itself. So in order to stay on the safe side, I will go to the livestock. You have to go to the livestock or go hunt. That's it. Any more questions concerning uncleannesses? And Muna, what's the question? You said I will reread it and see if I understand it.
She says it's still kind of confusing to her. The uncleanness.
Oh, right.
What I want to explain to you is like what Chief Sherman said. There are many different uncleanness laws. There are different ways a man or a woman can be unclean.
Right.
And depending on if it's a man or a woman, right? If it's a woman, everything, certain things, God tells us the details. You just got to go by it. Don't let it confuse you. I understand.
Confusion is not that. When a female is unclean for menstruation, and she sit on a bed or a chair and make it unclean,
Right.
and I go sit on it or lay on it, I'm not unclean. Only if I touch it, then I become unclean. That's the books. Leviticus 15, verse 20.
So, okay, so let's read that over. Let's go to Leviticus 15. Let's go to the beginning. Verse 18. Okay. The woman also, let's go to 19. Leviticus 15, verse 19. And if a woman have an issue, right? And her issue in her flesh with blood, she shall be put apart 7 days. And whosoever touch her shall be unclean unto the even. So if I touch the woman while she's on her menstruation, I'm unclean unto even. I don't have to wash my flesh, and I don't have to wash my clothes. And now we're going to go to the next verse, verse 20. And everything that she lieth upon in her separation. So whatever the woman lies on while she's on her separation shall be unclean, which means everything that she lie on, which is her bed, is unclean, right? Everything also that she sitteth upon shall be unclean. Whatever she sit on becomes unclean, okay? And whosoever toucheth her bed shall wash his clothes. So if I touch her bed, I'm unclean, right? And shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the evening. And whosoever toucheth anything that she sat upon shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the evening. So whatever, if I touch the bed, I'm unclean. If I touch whatever she sit on, I'm unclean, right? And guess what? When you lie on it, you better make sure you don't touch it. But who you gotta put, yeah. You gotta make sure you don't touch it. There's ways around it. There's ways around it to where you don't touch it. You put a clean sheet on that bed so I don't touch the bed itself with my hand. And I can lie on it. So whatever I sit on, if I sit on that chair that the woman sat on, as I read here, it don't say that I become unclean. It don't say it. Why? I don't know. Those are things. See, this is why God speaks about blind allegiance. You read about it, you read it, and do according to what it says.
If it don't say, there's no need. You don't confuse yourself. Don't confuse yourself. Do according to what it says. Because a lot of things that God put here is not explained. He just tell us don't do it. And it is our job not to do it. And to believe that there are consequences when we go against it. So whosoever touches anything that she sat upon shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean unto the evening. Okay? And if it be on her bed, so now we go into something different now. This is something different. Talking about the ministration that actually touched the bed. If it be on her bed or on anything whereon she sitteth, when he toucheth it, he shall be unclean unto the evening. Okay, when I touch the blood. Okay, and if any man lie with her at all, and her flowers be upon her, he shall be unclean unto the evening, which means we have it, we cohabitating, and the flowers come upon me. Now I'm unclean. I'm unclean to the evening. Okay, and all the bed whereon he lieth shall be unclean. Right? Flowers be upon him, he shall be unclean 7 days, and all the bed whereon he lieth shall be unclean. It don't say sit. All I see where God said everything that he lied upon. So if the flowers come upon me, whatever I lie on becomes unclean, not whatever I sit on. It's a difference with the man. See, it's difference. Difference with the man. Whatever I lie on becomes unclean, but whatever I sit on don't be unclean. Now, a woman on menstruation, whatever she lie on and whatever she sit on becomes unclean. Okay, that's just okay. That's just the rules. Did I hope I explained it a little clearer for you, Imuna. Sitting, see, you know what I say? It's not the same. Sitting and laying is not touching, because touching, you touch with your hands. You touch with your hands. And where in the part, okay, look at the part with in Leviticus 15, there's a law, there's an uncleanness that says, if I'm unclean, before I touch you, God said I have to wash my hands. And then I'm able to touch it. And I don't transfer the uncleanness. Where's that part? I think that's in 15. It's in 15 in the beginning. 15 verse. There you go, verse 11. Let's go to verse, let me see. Whosoever touch anything. Okay. And whomsoever he toucheth that had the issue, right? And had not rinsed his hands in water, okay, he shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until evening. Which means you touch with your hands. I don't touch with my arm. I don't touch with my leg. I only touch with my hand. That's why the book teaches us the meaning of words. And if I'm unclean in my issue, before I touch this brother, I have to wash my hands first. And then God said I can touch it. And I don't transfer the uncleanness. Why? It don't explain why. That's what the book says. Sitting and lying down don't mean touching. You're sitting. I can sit without touching that chair. I didn't touch the chair. All I did was sit.
Oh, my leg.
Okay? I can't touch with my legs. You touch contact with your hands. Any more questions concerning the laws of uncleannesses? Next week we'll do this again. We have another question and answer about another topic. What topic do people y'all want to talk about next week? Let me know in the comment section, and then we go through it. But if no one else has any more questions, then we're going to close this out.
Sister Amunia, I want to know if Sister Amunia, did you get the second explanation a little bit more clearer?
What's that?
She says just confused. You just assuming against her. I want to see if she understands it. You ask her if she understands it.
Right.
Yeah, take it in.
Touch it.
Okay. So being that we don't have no more questions, we're gonna close out, and I'm gonna say Shabbat Shalom. And we'll resume this tomorrow at 11 o'clock, 11 a.m. Is it done?
No, it's still- you're not doing the other- Go to the other page. Or, no. Yeah, or, yeah. So that- Okay. Hit it again. Hit it again. Listen, go down.
Oh,
To the
okay.
other. Yeah. Press it.